There you go. Okay, we're back again for the third time this weekend, at least for me. I'm a Serenade here, and we just got out of Snitch with Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock.
The Rock, yes. And, it was okay.
Yeah, some parts felt forced, I thought. Others were suspenseful, and some parts were kind of over the top and cheesy. Others were actually heartfelt. I could have gone without the shaky camera chase scene at the beginning. That made me dizzy.
This is kind of a weird one, because I'm so used to seeing either a good movie or a bad movie that is like, I don't really have much to say about this one. But,
yeah, the viewers who have been critiquing the lengths of these vlogs may be happy that this
one probably actually be pretty short in comparison. But,
yeah.
Okay, so what's the story? It's basically about Dwayne Johnson's son who gets arrested for a setup that is friended for like a drug bust, so he gets captured
and narcotics, pills,
ecstasy, and all that crap. But basically, so what happens is, in a desperate attempt to get his son out of jail, he agrees to go undercover to try to basically bust a bigger drug lord to basically work as negotiations.
Yeah, cocaine dealer.
Cocaine dealer in Mexico or something like that, and it just kind of escalates from there. And Sean from Walking Dead is in there too.
Was that the ex-con that he got to help?
Yeah, he was like a big part of the Walking Dead for the first 2 seasons. But
I haven't seen it yet. So.
Okay, fair enough.
I actually thought that character had some of the better lines.
He did. All things considered, Dwayne Johnson, despite his better movies, he actually did pretty good here. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was a great performance, but as far as like action stars go, this was pretty good.
And it was a more dramatic take.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't even bother like looking at the trailers. The trailers are horribly misleading because it does make the trailers make it look like a big action movie, like Dwayne Johnson doing action stuff, but it's really not. It's actually very slow paced. It's good for the good chunk of the movie.
There is action in it.
Oh yeah, there is, but majority of it's like towards the very end. I think there's only like 2, maybe 3 action sequences the whole movie.
And I think this is the first Dwayne Johnson movie I've seen where his character is not the one doing most of the beating up. He actually got beat up in a scene.
It's kind of hard. In this play, he plays like an owner of a warehouse construction site, or construction worker place. I don't know what the hell you call it. But either way, he plays a businessman, which is just a weird concept to find Dwayne Johnson in, because even when he's in like dress shirt, he still looks like he can pull like a Hulk Hogan any second and just rip right out of it like the Hulk.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
Yes, pretty much. But it's a little hard to take him seriously as a office man, but I think he pulled it off well enough. I'm not gonna say it's like Oscar worthy or anything like that, but I do applaud Dwayne Johnson for trying something different, especially when his action career goes, and it's much better than some of the crap he's been pushing out lately, like Tooth Fairy and During the Center of the Earth 2.
I didn't even bother to see those. I actually...
nobody else did either.
I hardly heard about them, as a matter of fact.
So I'm glad that Dwayne Johnson is kind of shifting his career towards more serious roles, and I think with time he could actually be a pretty damn good actor, I think.
I think it's a matter of him finding the right part and the right director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even then, for what we have here, he's pretty good. I mean, at least based on Dwayne Johnson standards.
As an audience member, I believed him as a family man.
Yeah, and he did a good job on that. Can't really say that same thing for a lot of the women in the cast, who I felt like a majority of them were basically there to scream and cry.
Yeah, I can see how you would feel that way, although...
I mean, granted, the circumstances were kind of valid for them to do so, but at the same time, like you said, there were some parts that were just kind of over the top and cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, really?
Yeah, on the one hand, I was glad to see the actress who played Cuddy from House have work again.
I'm not a House fan, so I don't really know much about that one.
And she was the ex-wife in this.
Okay.
So I was glad to see. Oh, yay! She has work.
Yeah.
But practically every scene she was in, she was moping or crying.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you can kind of understand why, because her son's in jail for like a setup, pretty much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, yeah, there wasn't really much to her. You can say a lot for the female cast. Either like the pretty wife or girlfriend or whatever, who eventually finds out about what's going on, then screams and cries and kicks and throws stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh,
While the guys vehemently defend themselves dramatically, and then they send them off to some other woman's house.
pretty much. I mean, it was very much an adrenaline response, kind of fight or flight. Okay, the women, you go take flight, so I can fight.
Let the men handle this. So I was like, I don't want to say it was sexist, but
no, but
there's not much they could have done anyway. But
not really. They basically did what most men in that situation would do, which is to try to keep their loved ones out of harm's way.
Yeah, it's like, and then like there's the villains in the movie too, and I keep seeing the same I don't know the actor's name, the first drug lord they run into, the originally one they were originally going to bust. Before they find a bigger fish to fry, essentially, was like this black guy I keep seeing like everywhere now. Like, he's in this, he's in Boardwalk Empire, he's in like in he was in Community for a while. It's like,
Well,
he's not a bad actor. No, he's actually decent. Although there were times like I'm white as hell, so I don't get a lot of the lingo. So,
I'm white as hell, also, but
there's sometimes I was just kind of like
I've observed some situations, so I caught some of the lingo.
I understood cribs. That was about it. The rest of it was like Finding Nemo. It was like, he's trying to speak to me. I know it.
And bread and paper refers to money.
I got that much. Yeah, that much I got. It's like I almost felt like there was subtitles underneath.
Jive and Ebonics 101 for the white person.
Like that scene in Airplane. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I speak Jive.
Yeah, I speak Jive. It's like kind of like captions like you were gonna go on this and get in my crib and get money and paper and all that stuff. It's like, please sir, I would appreciate if you can take my product to the distributor and return my profit, please.
Pretty much.
It wasn't horribly distracting. I got a little annoyed by it, but it wasn't that bad. Even though like a lot of stuff I had issues with, it wasn't that bad. Like the son kind of annoyed me a little bit too.
It kind of... Okay, I had mixed feelings about how much his mother nuzzled him. I mean, he's not that I'm opposed to parents showing affection to their adult children by any means, but he was 18 and he was in jail and he needed to be tough, and he had his head buried in his mother's neck. That's a small nitpick.
It is kind of a nitpick. Like, one thing that kind of bothered me is like there's a part in the movie where Dwayne Johnson goes to visit his son for the first time in jail, and he already has like a cut in his lip, and some other prisoners eyeing him like, that's the guy. I'm gonna kill him later. You know, like you can always spawn from a mile away in these movies. But like he has all kinds of like, what happened? And then the kid goes on his lawn tire. It's like, you know that time when you kept getting TP'd and egg, your car kept getting egg? That was me. And it's a big, long, dramatic thing. It's like, so?
Yeah.
That's oh my god, you caused a minor nuisance.
And yeah, he said a few times about how he wanted to try drugs. And
white boy problems.
I would never be a dealer. I would never do that. But okay. Technically, if you try drugs, you're a drug criminal. So that's...
Technically, that's a kind of a fine line, though.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people do it, but that character was walking a little bit of a fine line.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I like the relationship, or at least the one that kind of exists between Walking Dead dude and Dwayne Johnson. I think his character is Dennis in the movie.
Daniel.
That was close.
Yes.
I thought they had a good dynamic thing going on. I think they worked well off each other. I mean, it wasn't great. They don't really spend too much time developing it, which is fine. They developed it just enough so you can believe that they would work together.
Yeah, and that part didn't feel forced. That part didn't feel like exposition. It actually felt like, okay, these are two characters with these shared circumstances, and this is how they're helping each other. Yeah,
because like in a lot of movies like this, what they were going to do is like they become like brothers in arms towards the end, where like they'd learn pretty much everything about their lives. They'd have some moment when they tell the dramatic storyline, but no, it doesn't really go that route.
Yeah.
Like even when Dwayne Johnson tries to talk to him when they're driving to the first deal, pretty much goes like, look, man, I don't like, I'm not gonna tell you about my life. I'm not gonna ask about yours. Let's just do this and get it over with.
Business only.
Business only. But even then, it's like you can understand why they would work together for mutual survival after Daniel finds out that Dwayne Johnson's pretty much setting them a whole thing up.
Yeah, after Daniel finds out that Dwayne Johnson is an informant.
Which you know is going to happen. I mean,
yeah.
that was pretty much inevitable. Like, I'm surprised he actually mentioned it at the diner when he first, like, recruits him for the whole thing. Because he's apparently, how it works in the movie is Dwayne Johnson's trying to find someone who has a drug connection so he can get an introduction with one of the boss people and try, like, arrange a deal that way.
Get an in to that world.
Yeah, and Daniel was the only one that could provide that, apparently. So after sweet talking, they bring the deal, and he inadvertently gets dragged back into the world as well. Which, of course, he fights all along the way, because he has a son and wife, and is it wife or girlfriend?
Wife.
Okay, it is wife. All right, wasn't sure. So that's pretty much, they do a good job of describing they all have something to lose and something to gain and stuff like that, so it makes sense why they would work together. So there aren't too many plot holes in this, surprisingly, or at least as far as this kind of movie goes. I'm sure if you really analyze it, you could find more than a few.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of Susan Sarandon's performance as the politician dragon lady?
She got better as the movie went on, but initially, it looked kind of phoned in a little bit. Like, initially, it was like, okay, can I just get my check and go? Because she didn't really look that invested. It got better as the movie kept going and their relationship built up more. But initially, it's like, okay, can we just get the plot device in here? Like, can we just get this plot moving? Yeah, you can do this. Sure, why not? And yet the other cop. There's one thing that confused me a little bit while I was watching the movie is I still don't get why he needed to change trucks. Like, during the fight, he's going to Mexico, and everyone knows that if he goes to Mexico, he's a dead man. Yeah. So what he does is he has two trucks, and he pulls.
One of them is bugged and all wired for surveillance by the Drug Enforcement Agency.
But then he parks this other truck somewhere else, and then he basically swaps cars. It's like,
to a truck that isn't bugged.
Yeah, to basically lose the
DEA.
DEA, that's the word. So it's like, I've tried. They say it was to lose the DEA. I still couldn't really figure out why.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't necessarily explained, really.
Not really, other than to try to throw both sides off his trail initially.
Yeah, but even then, the DEA still ends up saving him at the very end. So
because he calls them and asks them to track his cell phone signal.
True, which begs the question is, like, why change trucks at all if you're going to have him just find you again? So, it's not perfect.
No, it's
just
not.
Based on stuff I got along. I mean, it's kind of nitpicking. If you ignore it, it's not that big of a deal.
You'll see far worse movies this year.
Absolutely, not God knows I have. But, no, as far as, like, standard thriller movies go, it's actually decent. I would give it a rental, if anything.
A rental or a matinee that was cheaper than this one.
Yeah, but it's like, overall, there's far worse movies out there. Hell, you have, like, Identity Theft and Die Hard and crap like that that's still in theaters, so you can't really go wrong here, at least as far as I'm concerned.
Nah, it's worth a viewing, I'd say.
I enjoyed it enough. I thought it was a nice change of pace for Dwayne Johnson. I was really impressed with what he can do. I think he has more potential now than I thought he did before.
Yeah, his facial expressions really shine through, especially with his eyes, which is one of the hardest things to do for screen acting.
Yeah, and that's even the few action scenes that were in the movie were actually pretty good too. Like the final act, I thought in particular was a pretty good set piece.
Yeah.
And no CGI, which was nice change of pace.
Yes, it was. Although the way one of the cars exploded.
Oh yeah, you and I both laughed at that.
Yeah. That was one of the over-the-top moments. Just a little.
Like, but it was like, apart from that, though, it was actually like a fairly realistic action sequence, all things considered. It wasn't too over-the-top, aside from the random car explosion.
Yeah.
But it was paced just right. They didn't do shaky cam, but like they did in the first. You and I both had problems with this, which was at the very beginning of the movie. When the son realizes he's being busted by the DEA, he jumps out the window and he starts running, even though you pretty much know he's going to get caught. It's not a big surprise. But then it does this really obnoxious, not like even like the Hunger Games shaky cam, where it's still like annoying but not tolerable. This is the one where it's basically like...
It wasn't tolerable at all. It made me dizzy.
It made me dizzy too. It was like, oh my god, this is going to be the whole movie. Surprisingly, they only do this like twice.
Focus! Camera focus!
Yeah, it's like that. But yeah, that was really the most obnoxious part about the movie. The rest of it was surprisingly tolerable.
Agreed.
So, do you have anything else to say about this?
Like I said, I had a mixture of thoughts, but that's about it. It's okay.
It's decent. I liked it. What trailers did we get?
We got Jack the Giant Slayer again. I don't remember the title of the movie, but we got a trailer for a magician movie with Steve Carell.
Oh yeah, I've seen like 5 trailers for that now too. It's like the Wonders of Steve something.
Yeah.
Burt Wonderstone. That was it.
Yeah,
it could be decent. It could be a few laughs out of it. Like I've seen like the trailer like 4 times now on the past week alone.
It was my first time seeing it.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it has Jim Carrey, it has Steve Carell. I like both of them, so we'll see. Hopefully it won't be terrible. And I like Olivia Wilde.
Oh yeah.
She's hot if nothing else, so there's that to it.
She is very pretty, yes.
It also has like the main guy for Mr. Pink is in there too, although he's only like in the trailer for like a millisecond. So I don't think he's gonna be a large focus of the movie.
Probably.
Even though he's supposed to be the magician partner, which I thought was a little weird that he just got so shoved to the sidelines.
It happens in some partnerships.
Although, I'm sorry, more thought for about the trailer. It's they use sex scene, I know it, which is kind of a sin. No.
Yeah, I like one LMFAO song, but that's not the one.
Yeah. Right. What were you gonna say? I cut you off.
Oh, just that some partnerships and stories are uneven.
You're not important to get out.
Pretty much. I know we got another trailer, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
We got G.I. Joe.
That's it.
I kind of want to see that one because it looks so silly.
It does, yes.
It's like, people get all uppity about... I'm gonna piss off a huge demographic here, I know.
Evil president!
Kidnaps, destroys the world, big doomsday device.
Yeah, with the touch of a button.
The whole world...
Entire city explodes and collapses like a ceramic sculpture or something.
Okay, it's like, I know I'm gonna piss off a few people here because I'm not an original G.I. Joe fan, but if you look at a lot of those 60s cartoons, guys... Or whatever era, was it 60s or 80s? I think it was 80s.
G.I. Joe was 80s, I remember, because I had a G.I. Joe action figure at one point.
Okay, it was the 80s, but it's like, I'm sorry, people, you look at the cartoons are silly too, alright? I'm not saying they were bad, no, far from it. I'm sure the cartoon was awesome, but it's like, at the same time, don't be surprised when the adaptation is just a little silly. As long as it's not Transformers level, I think we'll be okay.
At this rate, I wonder if they'll make a live-action Strawberry Shortcake movie.
Don't test them. If we can get 2 Smurfs movies, I'm not surprised a Strawberry Shortcake movie would be in the works. Hell, they'll probably make a fucking Care Bears.
Live-action Care Bears.
It can happen. Don't test them. Or at least animated.
Well...
Like get the Pixar treatment. Or DreamWorks. DreamWorks would probably do it.
DreamWorks might be okay. Of course, the original Care Bears movies will always hold a special place in my heart.
Old school, but...
Yes.
I'd actually be curious what DreamWorks Care Bear movie would look like, because DreamWorks has a very hit-and-miss record with their movies.
Yeah, that's kind of what Doug Walker has been exploring this month.
Yeah, because like I love Kung Fu Panda, I love How to Train Your Dragon are both great movies, and even some of the I even like Madagascar 2. I think I liked pretty good too.
I saw the first Madagascar movie.
The first Madagascar was meh, but the rest were okay.
Anyway, animation tangent aside. Did we get any other trailers other than those 3, or?
I feel like we got one more. Burt Wonderstone, whatever the hell his name is.
G.I. Joe, Jack and the Giant Slayer.
I feel there's one more action-oriented movie.
I can't remember it.
Well, clearly it wasn't that important. So, do you got anything else? Because I think I'm about done.
I think so too.
What's bad when I've gotten so drained from bad movies, and I get, well, that's okay. I have nothing to say about it.
Well, actually, okay things are the hardest to review because you're not overly passionate in either direction. You're just straight down the middle. Yeah,
so this is a special message to Raj. See, there are mad movies that I don't love or hate. So, suck on that.
Well, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed one of the shorter vlogs.
It's probably like 15 minutes. So,
The shortest yet.
yeah, so hopefully this one should have been like a 200 views watch. Be surprised. I think we're done here, so thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next week with Jack and the Giant Slayer. So that'll probably be back to the angry movie time. So see you
Fun
all then.
times. Bye.